Average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well.
This is going to get crazy, so fasten your seatbelt. Sunny Hostin may need to be placed under witness protection after Joe Rogan's vicious roasting of her. If that wasn't enough, Karoline Leavitt just filed a lawsuit against The View, and this isn't your average small-time legal dispute, believe me. It's a complete takedown.
So much good news, so much winning out of the Trump White House right now that the mainstream legacy media can't keep up.
We're talking about lawyers working overtime, The View hosts rushing around, and complete mayhem behind the scenes. They believed that they could drag someone through the mud, make fun of them on national television, and then leave them unscathed. However, they chose the incorrect target this time. Karoline is aiming for complete destruction rather than merely retaliating. What about The View? They are essentially pleading for this case to end before it destroys them. As if things couldn't get any worse for them, along comes Joe Rogan. This dude didn't show up for the game. His tirade against Sunny Hostin was not merely a lighthearted remark. Rather, it was a verbal assault that sent shockwaves through the internet. You can be sure Sunny has seen the videos, and social media is ablaze. She's not taking it well, to put it mildly. However, how did we get here at all? What set off this complete train disaster of an event? It all began when The View did what they do best: target a person with whom they disagree. Karoline Leavitt was their target this time. Why? Because she is conservative, young, and doesn't submit to their carefully crafted, biased narratives. Rather than engaging in a meaningful conversation, they turned to their typical strategies: cutting her off, talking down, and attempting to make her appear foolish. However, the roles were reversed this time.
Saw you on The View.
Yeah, so that's been overwhelming my past couple days. So I just went in there, did my thing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean,
yeah.
it is a rabies-infested.
Karoline was not another visitor who would simply accept the taunts and leave. She decided that enough was enough after witnessing the rudeness, the patronizing remarks, and the outright lying. The perspective is suddenly quieter now that she is pursuing them with legal firepower, and Joe Rogan comes next. Oh my goodness, he completely enraged Sunny Hostin after just one glance at her words. They were tough and presented the truth without sugarcoating or hiding anything. If you believed Sunny could ignore this, you were mistaken. The harm has already been done, and this video is spreading more quickly than The View's PR team can keep up with. The View is currently in full-blown panic mode. Public humiliation, online criticism, and lawsuits all hit at once. Joe Rogan just made sure that this moment will never be forgotten, and Karoline isn't going to back down. This is something you must see for yourself.
Don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was picked.
Joy Behar, sporting her trademark smile, made a low-key remark implying that Karoline Leavitt's employment was only granted because Trump believes she is a 10. That's what she chose, yes, blatantly disregarding Karoline's skill, background, and diligence, minimizing her accomplishments to a man's endorsement. As if that weren't enough, Sunny Hostin was always looking to add identity politics to the discussion. Double down, she attempted to portray Karoline as a member of a privileged elite, utterly disregarding the reality that Karoline ascended the ranks by using skill and tenacity alone. Then there was Goldberg. Whoopi. How did she act? Really, not much. She simply sat there, meekly co-signing every slur and insult directed at Karoline, nodding along like a human bobblehead. However, this is where they made a huge mistake. Karoline was underestimated. When they were ambushed on The View, they assumed she would do what most people do: to keep the peace, play nice, shrug it off, and perhaps even laugh along. Karoline, however, was not going to tolerate this vile smear campaign. She refused to endure being treated disrespectfully on national television. She reversed the script rather than playing their game. She went completely nuclear, not just a bit. Bam! Karoline exposed them rather than only retaliating with a feeble defense. She criticized the hypocrisy and broad daylight of the viewpoints. When it fits their purpose, they advocate for feminism, but the moment a woman deviates from their beliefs, they tear her to pieces. She criticized them for their hypocrisy, demonstrating how they will stop at nothing to defend liberal women while doing all in their power to discredit conservative ones. Subsequently, the industry was rocked by this particular section. Words were not enough for her. She didn't sue them for a slap on the wrist sum or a symbolic dollar to make a point. The number Karoline struck the public with a slander lawsuit for $800 million. Yes, you heard correctly. She claims that in addition to offending her, their careless and offensive remarks deliberately harmed her reputation by disparaging her. Name in front of millions of people. Additionally, the hostesses of The Views who were giggling a moment ago are no longer chuckling. They are now frantically trying to backtrack while scurrying and terrified. Their arrogant little insults suddenly lose their humor, since this is a reckoning rather than merely a clap back. And now they are the ones pleading with Karoline to settle, rather than tearing her down. According to reports, ABC officials are frantically attempting to contain the utter catastrophe that just burst in their faces.
While I vow to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House.
Boom. She's got more.
I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country.
Bam!
Racing around like their hair is on fire. They believed they could take their shots, get away with the standard smear techniques, and pretend nothing had happened. However, they misjudged the individual this time. The suits at ABC are frantically attempting to clean up a disaster that is only growing larger by the moment because Karoline Leavitt didn't simply push back. She came swinging with a legal wrecking ball. However, this is the section that is causing a stir in the industry. Joe Rogan just entered the fray, and wow, did he turn up the heat? He demolished Sunny Hostin rather than only criticizing her. A full-on, no-holds-barred dragging is what we're discussing. She was criticized by him for being the epitome of theatrical fury.
We average out The View hosts among the dumbest people on television.
Sonny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a way.
Someone who enjoys being the victim and viciously attacks anyone who doesn't match her well-constructed story. She is the most oppressed person in the room every time she is called out. However, it's only holding individuals accountable when she targets others, isn't that right? And Joe was far from finished. He took aim at the entire panel on The View, making fun of her journalistic integrity, if you can call it that. What he said, "You won't reach triple digits if you average the View host's IQ," and the internet went crazy. He had receipts, though, so he wasn't just making personal jabs. He reminded everyone that while The View used to applaud Trump when it was convenient for them, extending their red carpet and behaving as like he was their closest buddy, they now write history as though no one recalls their previous duplicity and portray him as the worst thing that has ever happened to America. Oh, and don't believe that he was finished. In addition to exposing Sunny Hostin, Joe Rogan dissected the entire format of The Views and exposed it for what it truly is. According to him, it's similar to a reality TV program where the loudest person wins and facts are irrelevant. And social media went crazy, I tell you. The Joe Rogan reveals The View and cancels Sunny Hostin were popular within minutes. Not only were people laughing, but they were also sharing their opinions in the comments. Joe Rogan just spent 5 minutes fact-checking more than The View has in 5 years, as one person put it so eloquently. Another, even more powerful blow. Although The View promotes empowerment, they dismantle women who believe differently. What a farce.
Things I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to play this, but we decided we shouldn't play it. We don't want anybody to have any sort of a way to get it down. The episode of you when you're on The View, when you were running for president.
Right.
Donald Trump is a billionaire, a real estate mogul, and a television star. But does he really want to add president of the United States to his resume? A lot of people would like him to.
You got introduced as our friend Donald Trump.
Please let's find out, and please welcome my friend, Donald Trump.
That's right.
Whoopi Goldberg gives you a big hug and a kiss. Joy Behar gives you a big hug. Barbara Walters gives you a big hug. They all loved you.
We're so happy to have you. Whenever you're on with us, we're very happy.
We love it.
They're talking about you as such a favorable light. The audience was cheering, and then you actually started winning in the polls, and then the machine started working towards you.
Joe Biden knows how to do this.
Trump. Yeah.
He tends to just...
The View isn't just in trouble right now, though. If Joe Rogan's takedown is any indication, they are in full-blown meltdown mode, and the worst is still to come. The View is currently barely surviving, and the hits keep coming. Executives at ABC believed they could control this catastrophe and possibly even turn it to their advantage, but the crisis has blown out of control. Even their own viewers are now betraying them. The entire industry is trembling as a result of Karoline Leavitt's lawsuit. There are $800 million at stake. Reputations are in danger of collapsing. And behind the scenes, hosts are in a panic. Producers are in emergency meetings. Lawyers are frantically trying to find a solution. And some employees are even wondering if the show can withstand this degree of criticism. Additionally, everyone still remembers Joe Rogan's public takedown of Sunny Hostin, as if things weren't already awful enough. The internet was engulfed in flames after that tirade. The criticism of The Viewpoint is intensifying every minute, and their frantic attempts to contain the damage are only making it worse. Rather than confronting the lawsuit directly, The Viewpoint has attempted to deny its existence, ignoring it like this isn't the most significant controversy they've encountered in a long time. The internet isn't dumb, though. Videos of Joe Rogan's tirade are going viral. The public that once unquestioningly supported The Viewpoint is now criticizing the news organizations who are analyzing every aspect of Karoline's lawsuit. Let's also discuss Sunny Hostin, who is truly on a downward spiral. According to insiders, she is enraged and is requesting that producers take action to restore her reputation. What can they do, though? Joe Rogan exposed her rather than merely criticizing her. Even those who formerly backed her are now acknowledging that she sort of had that coming after he exposed every inconsistency and instance of hypocrisy.
Also calls today for The View to go next when you've got hosts like Whoopi Goldberg spitting when she's speaking about Donald Trump. Look at this.
No, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean...
He rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just...
But can I mention one thing?
That's on the ABC, of course, but what a class act. I mean, speaking about Donald Trump, you can't make this stuff up. Should The View go next?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Sunny Hostin has faced challenges or she's been in trouble, let's say, by executives at ABC for some of these smears and lies that she spread. There needs to be some level of accountability with these talk show hosts. People tune in to left-wing networks. They expect to get a left-wing talking point. But what they shouldn't expect, or what we shouldn't treat as normal, is the fact that there is nothing but denigration and maligning of character.
Joy Behar, you no longer have your trademark smirk. On The View, she assumed her small Trump joke about Karoline would be another amusing moment. Rather, it sparked what may turn out to be the largest defamation case in the history of the show. Whoopi, too? Utterly.
And the Democrats are in complete disarray because they have become a globalist party who like to spend taxpayer dollars on useless priorities just to cater to the left's demand.
In her latest statement, she not only discussed herself, but also called out The View for silencing and smearing conservative women, highlighting their hypocrisy on women's rights and career destruction based on politics. Joe Rogan's recent rant sparked a movement, with more people exposing The View for past flip-flopping and double standards. Behind the scenes, ABC execs are furious and scrambling to salvage the show's credibility. Sunny Hostin and Joy Behar are facing backlash. Hostin's credibility is plummeting, and Behar's comments have led to legal troubles. ABC is in crisis mode, considering major changes amid lawsuits and sponsor concerns. Whoopi Goldberg's silence speaks volumes, reflecting the severity of the situation. Will ABC fire someone, settle the lawsuits, or overhaul the show? Drop your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for updates.